Good afternoon and welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to Infitech. So, since the last episode I have been fairly busy. You'll notice that our reactor is now encased. The reason I ended up going with the reinforced stuff here, and I may end up changing the base, I don't know, is because a lot of the glass that I wanted to use did not work with the warding focus. So, if we take a look in here, this is fairly cheap to craft. You can do it, I guess, with the 7 glass and the 2 advanced alloys, but what I did gets you a little bit better output is use your 3 glass and your advanced alloy to get 4 of the reinforced glass. So, you can also use glass dust. You can use carbon plates and glass dust with carbon plates, but I did just the straight up glass with the advanced alloy. The reinforced stone's a little bit more tricky to make. It does take a bit of steel. You get 2 of these steel frame boxes, and then you have to run it through wet concrete, which we've done before. We've made the wet concrete before with just stone and clay. But I did end up going with that just, for now, because a lot of the glass that I wanted to use here couldn't be reinforced or couldn't be warded. Also, I did change it up a little bit, thanks to some comments like from Bloody and stuff. It's hard to tell here, but anyway, I did change over from MV transformers to HV transformers. That way we can output the full amount of power from this without losing it, because the MV was technically losing the power. Originally I didn't mind it too much because initially setting up this reactor, I mainly just wanted to breed plutonium through that was my main goal, but I went ahead and changed that over and put the HV on there. Also, I put a energy detector cover on the machine here, on the battery buffer, and I set it to inverted electricity mode. Let's see. Inverted electricity. So now you'll notice that it kicks off the redstone. Basically, it stops the reactor from running when the batteries are filled, and won't waste that on us. So so now I think that's fairly good for the time being. Of course, we'll adjust it later on once we have plutonium and things like that. Also, I probably will add some item conduits to pull out, the empty cells and add some new cells, that kind of thing. I just haven't done that just yet. Upstairs, I have done some adjusting because I know we have a lot of machines over in the other base that, it's a pain to run over there all the time to do things. I did start building out this area, and this is connected straight onto the reactor. Since it's producing HV power, I was thinking about downgrading it from HV to MV, but I decided, why not? We have a decent amount of battery buffers, that battery buffer has 4 batteries in it, and I also have another battery buffer actually under the floor here. But I went ahead and started setting up HV machines because my long-term goal is to do EV power and then downscale it to HV from our, more centralized power generation area. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I also considered doing the battery buffer and just moving. I was reading a bunch about, power grid and stuff like that, and I was considering doing like power setup maybe downstairs or something, and then just using item conduits to move filled batteries up to the battery buffers when they needed them, and pulling out the empty batteries to go fill those back up. So I don't know just yet for sure which of those two I'm going to go with. I kind of like the battery method because it's more like lossless power, at least to a certain degree. I mean, if I had, like, say, the battery buffer here, we'd lose a couple power coming down through here, but for the most part, it's fairly lossless. So that may be what I end up going with, like, long term, once I start getting some more stuff built out. I did spend a while digging out downstairs for, power area and things like that. The reactor is probably going to move downstairs. Same with the steam turbines and stuff like that once that's all set up. But we do have a number of HV machines up here. I went ahead and set up an oak shelf. I know we've got some more lenses somewhere. I've got to figure out where I put them because they weren't in the AE system. They're probably in a chest somewhere. But I'm going to do this for like our laser engraver. I'm also going to do the same thing for the extruder and the lathe, some of that stuff that we need, the different little circuits and plates and all that mess. I may end up setting up like maybe like a rack out here in the middle of the floor, almost like a shelving unit for like, say like a gas station, how they have those like middle of the floor shelving things. I may set up something like that or something. I don't know. I'm still playing around with the idea, but I want some place within this room because this is going to be kind of our workshop room. I think I was looking through HV machines, and I think this room will be big enough for us to have all of our machines and maybe extras of certain things that we use a lot, like the bending machine and stuff like that. I would like to have a couple of those for us. You know, once our power is up to the point that it can support it, I think once we move up to EV power across the base, I think that downscaling it to HV, I think we're going to have plenty of power to run this room. And like I said, I may end up doing the moving battery method and you know, play with that idea a little bit. Also, I did get our industrial bees. I got another set of those automated, and we actually have a decent amount of royal jelly. Honestly, probably by next episode or the episode after, we should be able to create our first alveary. So we may do that. And let's see. I think that's a main thing that I've been working on. It took a while to actually make all those machines and stuff. Also, I have been compressing metals. We have a decent amount of compressed metals now. It may be more of certain things than we need right this second, and it may be less of other things that we need. But I figured generally steel in galacticraft, you're going to use a ton of it. So I went ahead and made a bit of that. Also aluminum, I went ahead and made a bit of bronze. And you notice I kind of get less and less as we go. Copper and tin, I don't recall ever using that much of. Same with iron. So I went ahead, but those are a little bit more common materials than bronze, aluminum, and steel. So I went ahead and just made a few of those as well. So we should be all set today to start working on some galacticraft stuff. And that is my goal because I do want to work on that. My main two goals, aside from like power grid and stuff at the moment, is to get to space and to go kill Ender Dragon, because we really need to do that. We might even do that next episode. We might go kill the Ender Dragon just to get it out of the way so that we have access to the end and everything like that. Because I think if we make a good like ranged weapon, like a gun or something, I really don't see him being that bad, realistically. Because I mean, we've got good like Thaumcraft gear, like as far as runic protection. You know, whenever I'm not wearing my spectacles. But also, we did get some more tree breeds, and we got some more plant breeds, like crop breeds and stuff like that. In addition. So anyway, like I said, oh, and I did. I know Real KC said it was bothering him. I did go through and complete all these quests, and I just dumped all the items downstairs. Just pile of material bags and junk. And yes, I think that's about it. Alright, so anyway, we're going to work on our oxygen gear. So the first thing that we're going to want is one of these masks, and you'll notice that we need some reinforced glass for that. And it just so happens that I do believe I used all that I had messing with that. So we're going to have to make some more. We'll just get some glass and advanced alloy. I think we just need 8 of these for this, so... And we'll go ahead and get this going. I have to say I really like these HV machines. I mean, I know they cost more power than MV and all that good stuff, but the speed is what kills me on like the MV stuff. It just kills my soul. And I feel like now we honestly have enough power generation, especially once I get everything consolidated and all, because like our steam turbine's still not plugged up over there and all that. It actually takes a lot more time than I expected. Change change this back over? I had changed it over, but I kind of want it back now. No, I don't have the stuff on me, seriously. Okay. Let me go grab some of that stuff and get this stuff together, and I will be right back. Actually, I'm pretty sure we have iron bars. Yeah, it doesn't want to put them into, like whenever you shift click, it doesn't want to do it. And glass too. What is this madness? Okay, but anyway, I'm going to go get some stuff to make orange dye really quick. We might, dandelion. What's the other one? Posy? Yeah. Poppy? Whatever. Same thing. Same difference. Alright, so we'll go ahead and grab that. Scuba helmet. And that. There's our oxygen mask. Of course, we've already got our parachute. Our oxygen gear. Let's see. Oxygen gear is going to require oxygen pipes. Did we? We didn't make any of these, did we? No. Okay, so we're going to need some reinforced glass, and then we're going to need the pipe setting for the extruder, which I'm pretty sure I've already got that up here. Pretty positive. So, now that's rod. Do I have a pipe? Apparently I have 2 rods. Okay. Let me see. This is why I want like a little area that has all of our plates and stuff in one place, because yeah, I'm gonna have to make one. So give me just a second here. Okay, so we got our oxygen pipes. We're gonna need a lot of these by the time we go to the moon. I'm just saying. So I'm going to have to really get busy making a lot of that reinforced glass. So for our oxygen gear, now we've got that. We've got 5. Probably going to need more. We're going to need oxygen vents. We're going to need oxygen fan. Oh, how do we make wafers on here? Steel screws, circuit fabricator, or the assembler. Oh, those are so expensive. I feel like I've looked at those before, but man. Okay, so we're going to need some circuit boards and some diamond plates. Let's get those. And circuit boards. Oh, man. Gotta go make more of these things. Okay. I don't know if I have any of that on hand. I've got these, but I don't know if I have any etched medium. No. Okay, give me a second while I get this stuff together, and I'll be back. Alright, welcome back. So I was getting some steel bolts, because we're going to need those as well, of course, to make that fan. And then, whoops. Wrong direction. Our wafer should be done by now. I actually noticed that even in the HV machine, that takes a little while. I didn't look at the exact time. I just used the soldering alloy that we had here. So now we should be all set to get our fan made. And man, this stuff is expensive. So we're going to need some steel screws. Let's just get 4 of those for now. Oh, never mind. Because we're getting 9 because I shift clicked. Anyway, there's our oxygen fan. You know what I just realized? Oh no, never mind. Okay. For some reason I was thinking we needed 2 of those. I was like, oh gosh. It looks like we've got everything now except for the tin canisters. We made those before. How do we make them? Compressed tin and integrated circuit 2. Okay. So I'm going to get just a few of these. I guess, I don't know. We'll grab that. We shall go with that. And let's see. You know what? I need a crafting table over here. Let me just bring my crafting table over here. Over to here. Do I have, actually, do I have another? No. Okay. I know I've got more integrated circuits somewhere. They're actually probably in my AE system. That's why I want to get something set up in this room. I was kind of giving it some thought to figure out. I know I like these shelves because I like to be able to see them. I don't just want to throw them in a chest. I think that's kind of gaudy. In modded, I don't really want to do that. So I think we'll do something else. There you are. And oh wait, I need to turn it into electronic circuit, integrated circuit. Then use the screwdriver on it. No. Oh, okay, that's what. Get them all mixed up. Okay, integrated circuit 2. And get that stuff bent out. And there we go, our 10 canisters. So that's actually, I mean, we have like 1,000, or not anymore, but we have close to 1,010. But even still, like, well, we have 821 now, but it's still expensive. And then for our oxygen gear, I think we're all set. Yes, we are. So we got our oxygen gear. Now the last thing, was that the last thing? No, we need our tanks, that's right. Which, if you recall, I couldn't make these before. They have been fixed in the more recent updates. We're just going to need some oxygen pipe, fluid cell, and then a bunch of compressed aluminum. Or we can use a tin canister, which is probably what we'll do. Maybe. Actually, I think this would be cheaper, right? We actually have these things lying around everywhere. Well, compressed tin's a little bit harder to make. So, we are going to go with the cell. For sure. So we got one of those. Granted, you will want at least 2. Honestly, I'd rather have the bigger tanks. What does it take to make the bigger tanks? Never mind. Normally, I always just go straight for the heavy oxygen tank. You know, it's no big deal. That takes dash, which I know dash, we're not going to get that for a little bit. And then we also need tungsten steel, which we actually have tungsten steel from that alloy bag bug. But we're going to go with a component bag. See, I wonder if this component bag... No, I'm sure it's not. I was going to say if it's like galacticraft components, that would be one thing. Oh no. Oh no. Take that uranium. We also got lead, we got steel, we got iron, we got credits. Okay. So that finishes up that quest. Now, oxygen. And we've also got this. What does it take to make the frequency module? Whoa. It's not terrible, but I don't like these wafers. They're expensive. I mean, already they're 2 diamonds a piece in order to craft these, like minimum. And we can't make this the standard circuit fabricator. Because if you notice, like, circuit fabricator, this is like what you normally do. It's like a diamond for 3 of them. Where now it's 2 diamonds for 1. So I don't like those wafers at all. We're going to push on into oxygen, I guess. Get our oxygen collector, which we're going to need another wafer. Oh god, we're going to need 2 wafers. Oh my god, I don't love it. Okay, so give me a minute. I'm going to get some more wafers made up. Oh man. I'm out of diamond plates. Okay. But yeah, give me a minute. I'm going to get some more wafers and some more oxygen pipes and things like that made up really, really quick. Because we're going to be needing those. So I will be back in a moment. Okay, I just went ahead and made 4 wafers. Just use up that diamond, all that diamond plate. I have 1 extra, of course, but now we've got 4 in here. So probably should have just went ahead and changed those over into wafers too, because I know we're going to need them. But we should be able to now get the stuff together to make our oxygen collector. So we're going to need oxygen fan, and you know what? I should actually need... I need more steel. Okay, let's get like that, and then I also want to go ahead and get some more tin cans because man, just doing that because I know we're gonna need those as well. Actually, we'll just go with one for right now, and I think that'll get us through at least this part. We're gonna need, let's see, the extruder, making those. Then over here on the bending machine, we'll get our tin canister. Oops. Alright, and then this, oops, with the screwdriver, the wrench. There we go. Okay, I've been getting everything together that we need. We should have everything now. I've got a fly in the house, and it is driving me absolutely insane. I hate flies. I made another. Okay, it's in there. Okay. I was wondering where it went. Oxygen vents, of course, aren't too bad. We'll get 2 of those. We'll get our concentrator. And then we'll get our, oh, you know what? We need aluminum cable, don't we? I think it's 2 times. And then we're also going to need 10 pieces of the aluminum wire for this quest as well, which I looked, you just turn aluminum cable into aluminum wire. That's how that works. So, let me run over here. We've got some molten rubber, so that's not too much of a concern. And let's get our 2 times. And we'll get our 10 of these. Oh, we've got some aluminum cable here. So we'll just do that. Which realistically, I don't know if we can make the heavy aluminum wire from galacticraft. We can. That's actually not as bad as I was expecting. It's not terrible anyway. So we'll go ahead and get our galacticraft aluminum wire. I wonder... Well, I guess technically, I was going to say, I wonder if this can use the GregTech wiring for the galacticraft stuff. But then again, I just realized we're going to have to seal that up, and I know the GregTech wires aren't going to seal, probably. So we got our oxygen collector, good stuff. And oxygen filling, we're going to need the oxygen compressor. So, let's get this. Oh. What all of this do we have? I'm going to need an empty canister. Oh, God. Okay. 4 steel rings and 8 compressed steel for that. We're also going to need another one of these things. Awesome. And then an MV electric motor, which yeah, I've got everything on hand for that. Oh, these things. These damn things. I should have everything roughly on hand for this, I think. Minus the 10. Oh my gosh, all this tin. Just grab those, that's what I'm going to need. And then I'm also going to want some steel rings. Which I don't have any of. What's the cheapest way? Actually, I think we've used these a few times in the past, but they're not. Aha! If we make a ring shape, we can get 4 for 1 piece of steel. So let me get that ring shape made. Actually, Actually, you know what? I've got the stuff on me. If I just grab like one more piece of steel for the actual thing. Wouldn't take but a second to whip up that ring shape. Let's go ahead and run these through our bending machine very quickly. Then I'm going to grab this and we're going to change it over to circuit 1. I love how fast this bending machine runs, by the way. Like the HV version. So good. And then what is it? Hammer and file, right? Yes. And now the ring plate. Let's take a look here. Wire cutter's right next to it. There we go. And now we can just extrude this out and get our steel rings. Alright, so now I think we're all set, right? To get our oxygen compressor. Now I'm assuming this stuff just hooks in with GregTech. I'm hoping HV cabling is fine for that. Oxygen. And now once we go to space, I do want to make an additional one of these because... oh, that's right. We need this 8 compressed steel, right? Forgot we actually had to run this through. See, I'm glad I made all that compressed steel because it's definitely something that we'll be using. I can already tell. So we'll just throw this, say, into here. And there's that. I'm gonna... God. Like, I'm getting low on diamonds after today. Like, this is just eating up some diamonds. Which, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, this is... Going into space is not just like, oh, you're just going into space. Like, actually... Didn't I not just make one of those? Electric motors? Or am I crazy? It's another one of those things that don't shift click in. Okay. Whatever. So we got our oxygen compressor now. And we finished this quest. So let's go ahead and get our material bag. And that. No. 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 Why do you not... Oh, it's some kind of a graphical bug. I think I threw... Okay, there's our oxygen pipes. I don't know. I think I threw something in there. Anyway, just a bunch of normal junk. Let's see what our quest book has for us next. It wants us to make the NASA workbench. What is the... I was actually wondering what these advanced wafers were gonna cost. Most of this stuff's not too bad. I think we got most of this laying around, but the advanced wafer. Let's take a look. 4 diamond plates and 8 circuit boards for 1 wafer. God, okay. So expensive. Oxygen storage, the storage mod. That's not even craftable at the moment. It's not even doable because we need dash. And I don't believe that there's any way to get dash on the overworld unless it's like easier than galacticraft. Yeah, I don't know. Decompression is... That looks pretty standard. I mean, kind of what we've been doing. Let's go ahead and set up our oxygen collector and our compressor, because these are 2 things that we are definitely going to need. Now it says they use 54 EU per second and 81 EU per second. So what a tick is, or 20 ticks per second. So really they don't require like any power at all. I don't know if these are going to connect like straight into like say our HV cables. No, they don't seem to be. Oh, that's right. They need to actually... They're side-based. I always forget that when I first set them up. Let's wrench this. Yeah, see, they read as RF. I wonder if we could plug them up into our Ender IO stuff. That's kind of my thinking. No, I want to keep going up. Shanks. Shanks, shanks, shanks. It's so dark up here right now. Let me actually light this up. I don't really spend a whole lot of time up here, and when I do, I fly up here, like, on top of the array. So, let me... What? There. Okay, so we can use RF. You'll notice that this is now getting oxygen, and it's storing up some oxygen. We'll just plug that up, and then what we can do is we can take our oxygen pipes. This is the output for oxygen, and then it's going to input into here. And you notice this is now getting oxygen. Then what we can do is we can put our oxygen tanks right into here, and it's going to start filling that oxygen up. So it looks like RF is going to be our thing once we get to space, and that, honestly, that alleviates a lot of pressure for me. That really, really does, because RF is not a problem to just pick up and take. Now, granted, EU or you know, GregTech EU wouldn't be that bad if we just made like a Lapatronic storage or something like that and took it with us. But honestly, it's easier to take these vibrant capacitor banks. Like, just grab them all up and take them, and it's honestly easier to generate RF than it is EU. We can do it with a lot smaller setups. Now, I haven't really considered how we're going to get RF once we get to space, since, like, we'll probably just do something from Ender IO, maybe like some kind of fluid-based power. Normally I would use... Oh. Wait a second. This has a recipe now? It does. That is awesome. I could have swore that did not have a recipe before. But I know, like, the oxygen stuff wasn't craftable. Like, the tanks and stuff weren't craftable. So it may have been in that update. Which, if so, these advanced solar panels, they're expensive. They're expensive as hell in this pack. Because, of course, they require the advanced wafer. And a basic wafer. And all this other crap for the solar panels. But, honestly, these advanced solar panels are so powerful. Like, they generate an absolute ton of power. Honestly, I could see ditching these and going with the advanced solar panels once we had the materials to make that many wafers. So that is actually a very, very good sign, because I can easily power the base with those solar panels and vibrant capacitor banks. Since it doesn't require the GregTech stuff, I could do that no problem. Like, honestly, if you make like 6 of these advanced solar panels, you can power a fairly large base as long as you have the power storage. Because the thing you need to keep in mind once you get to, say, like the moon, is your days are fairly long, but your nights are very, very long as well. So, like a normal Minecraft day, I think like night on the moon is like 2 Minecraft days, like full days. It's forever long. Like, it is so, so long. So you do need massive power storage once you get to like the moon and stuff, in order to make up for, you know, not being able to get power through the day and everything, or through the night. So the fact that we can do that stuff like this, that makes it a whole lot easier on me. Like, I was thinking like I was gonna have to do like full GregTech setup as soon as we hit the moon, and I was like, man, this is gonna be like rough. But no, that does make it a lot easier. But anyway, I do believe I'm going to end the episode there. We'll continue with this stuff. This stuff's a little bit expensive. Wow, we're only 4% through space exploration. Well, we've only done 2 quests, but still that puts it at about 50 quests for this stage of the quest book. I mean, for example, if you look at Nuclear Age, we're already 30%. Well, we've actually done a bit of quests, though, too. But even still, looks like there's a lot of stuff for space, which I like that, because space is a lot of fun. And I did notice that this pack has galacticraft planets and stuff like that in here. So I am super, super excited to start diving into that. Space is somewhere I feel a little bit more comfortable with. Like GregTech, I'm not so comfortable with. I know you guys helped me a lot. I do want to say thank you for that. It is very, very much appreciated. But space I feel a lot more comfortable with. So I'm super excited to go there. And I know some of you guys have had questions about space. So I'm excited to kind of pay it forward and help you guys out. Because you guys have been helping me out a ton. With a lot of the GregTech mechanics and everything. So, we will definitely start pushing forward to space. Like I said, I do want to kill the Ender Dragon fairly soon. We might do that next episode. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I was digging around in NEI a little bit. I don't see any way to make it. Like normally, like it looks like oxygen, like the light tank, you're going to make here on the overworld. Then once you get to the moon, you'll be able to make the meteoric iron to make the medium oxygen tank, which in my past experiences, this is a lot of meteoric iron. This is an absolute ton. Considering we're going to need 2 plates for each one of those, that is a ton. Because I've landed on the moon, and like for example in my Crack Pack series, it took me about 40 minutes to find 4 pieces of meteoric iron. So finding that much, plus, let me check, actually, the, couldn't think of it for some reason. This takes 3 meteoric iron plates. Which I mean, I guess technically that's a little bit cheaper. Well, it's not really cheaper. Normally you'd need 2 pieces of meteoric iron. This one requires 3, but at least it's not 3 plates. But, oh my god. And you need meteoric iron to make the airlock frames, which that's not normally the case. So straight out, we're going to need... Technically, we could get by with 4 airlock frames, but that's technically. We're probably going to need 9 plates, plus for the tanks. I mean, straight out, if you want medium tanks, you're going to need, you're probably, if you're smart, you're going to get 2 of these tanks, because you can wear 2 of them at a time on your back. So you're going to straight out need 9... Then what, 7, 14, 20, God. So we're looking at like 37 meteoric iron, which that could take like a million years to get. So that's going to be fun. But that'll be okay. I feel more comfortable in space than in the overworld at this point. And then, of course, the dash we won't get until Mars. So I guess like this quest isn't doable until we hit Mars for the oxygen storage. So it will definitely be a while before we get any dash to do that. So this one isn't that bad actually. The decompressor, just the storage is super expensive. So anyway, I'll quit rambling. I'm just really excited because we're about to be, within a few episodes we'll be maybe going into space. So kind of exciting. But anyway, I've also got to figure out a way to teleport. I think I have an idea, but we shall see. The idea that I really like to put into effect is with Ender IO. It's the telepad block. But you need an aqueduct for that. So, you also need an EV field generator, so fun times. I really love to do the telepad block. However, we're going to need a bunch of these because it's 9 of them for each side. So we would need like 9 here and 9 over on the moon. So I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, I'm going to quit rambling. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already for more daily videos. And yeah. Until next time, do take care, and I hope to see you guys then when we will be continuing all of our work to go into space. By the way, these oxygen tanks, just really, really quickly, you equip them right here. And like I said, you can have up to 2 of those equipped at a time. You should actually be able to see it on me person right there. But yeah, you can have 2 of them equipped. The light ones, honestly, we're going to make spares of those. Because, like, normally if I go into space with heavy ones, I'll take 4 heavy, like an extra set, with me just in case. And having lights, like, those really don't last long at all. So, we'll probably make, like, 6 of them or something. But at least they're not terribly, terribly expensive. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys join me for next episode. Until then, as always, do take care.